All right, I think we'll get started now. Everyone is on mute. If you wish to speak after the presentation, you are free to unmute yourself and you can speak. But just to let you know that we did have a full lineup of persons from the private sector, persons from the government, and persons from the legal fraternity to join us today. Apparently, for some reason, today was a terribly difficult day for so many and could not make it. Of course, as you know, our platform is continuously expanding and continuously enhancing what we're doing. So even our technical team who were supposed to be on are busy tweaking and working on some of these issues. The platform as it is right now is ready for business and can perform online full experienced online business service. So the full experience from whatever you're looking to do. Of course, we can get that done. So what I'll do, just to give you a lay of the program today, I'll go through a presentation speaking about the technology itself and the technology that we are bringing to the business services landscape in Guyana and its benefit. And of course, I'll go into any kind of questions that you may have. My presentation will not take more than 10 minutes, after which, you and I and others who are on this on this meeting today can discuss. I know we have a lot of attorneys that have signed up. We've got media persons and we've got business persons and those who are engaged in very similar services in Guyana at the manual level. They're on here. So let me get right into it. Let me get right into my presentation. I'm quite sure you all can see my screen. So GuyanaLegal, of course, is a business service. We offer a full online experience for persons who are looking to start a business or to start a company or to seek consultation or to benefit from Guyana's growing economy. There's so much happening in Guyana, and we've got to build the tools to facilitate and accelerate ourselves into the economy and the economy itself. So let me switch to the next screen here. A bit about Positive Plans. Positive Plans is the company that is behind the development of GuyanaLegal. And all of our development has been geared towards moving at the pace of Guyana economy and to provide services, digital services, online services, technology services that can provide meaningful engagement and support as we all, whether in Guyana, in the United States, Canada, or globally, we're looking to engage. So our company, Positive Plans, I am the CEO of Positive Plans, and we've created, this is 4 of our projects that we have created in Guyana. Of course, we have projects around the world. These are 4 that we did in Guyana, and these are not the only 4. There are many more. So Guyana Works, for example, is a career platform that allows job seekers and employers to engage with each other. As you know, Guyana requires, hundreds of thousands of skilled workers, professionals, and Guyana Works was created for that, to bring the global experience of the diaspora, as well as the global expats who might be interested in Guyana's economy and what it has to offer. And of course, Guyanese employers that are looking for professional and skilled persons can go on Guyana Works. These sites are all live. Kaitor is a global booking engine, very similar to Expedia or Priceline. The only difference with Kaitor is that it offers, for the first time, the Guyana tourism sector to be online. Much of Guyana, while it's beautiful and it's untouched, is unknown and unseen. So Kaitor gives an opportunity to for Guyanese tour operators to be online, to be booked and get business done. And of course, we developed Guyana Investors. Guyana Investors is a platform that allows investors to find projects in Guyana, and vice versa. For projects in Guyana who's looking for money, they can go to Guyana Investors, build a profile, and seek investments. We are also the proud developers of the Guyana Tourism Authority licensing portal. And this is significant for many of you who might be in the tourism sector. The licensing portal allows anyone to initiate process and up to the end of achieving a licensing certificate from GTA for their tour operators. So that's online, and these are very active portals that deeply, a lot of development has been done to ensure that it's not only a data website that has information. These are platform portals that allows you to engage at a deeper level and get services done. Now, much of these type of services are available for persons outside of Guyana on an everyday basis, whether it's banking or whether it's opening a company or whether it's finding a job or whether it's booking a ticket or whether it's finding money. These are all everyday services that are available in Canada, the USA, Europe, wherever Guyanese are, and I think our company, Positive Plans, we see that Guyana needs to move and needs to embrace the level of technology that the rest of the world uses every day and have already embraced. So let me go to the next screen here. So we talked about, this is a bit about what we do. So why GuyanaLegal? And I think this is quite obvious answer to this question. Why GuyanaLegal? Of course, Guyana is going through a boom. Its economy is exploding in every direction, in every sector. Of course, oil being the catalyst for all of it. But we have robust agriculture and tourism and mining and forestry and with low electricity, you'll find, more manufacturing and so on. So Guyana needs a business accelerator, a service that will help more people to get involved in business and to get it done as fast as possible. And that's what GuyanaLegal is looking to do. From the diaspora, we want to be a facilitator. We want to be a bridge to Guyana. I've been on many webinars and meetings and conferences, and the big question is, how do I start a company? How do I access business services? How do I get these things done? And to a large extent, you got to go to Guyana, you got to meet some people and those kind of things. Now, of course, we've made it easier to just go online and find a service that you're looking for and start that process. It helps with the ease of doing business in Guyana. Many of you know how the level of work and effort that is needed to get some of these business services done. So this, the GuyanaLegal is meant, and it's a great step towards easing the way we do business in Guyana. This reduces cost. We've standardized cost for these services, and they're lower than you would have expected. And they're and for most of us on this call, you know, if you want to start a business or do something in Guyana, you got to be there, right? With our platform and our partners in Guyana, we're able to get all this done for you without you spending money for travel and hotel and food and so much more, right? And the disruption of your life. So again, this reduces costs significantly. Instead of spending $5,000 to come to Guyana to incorporate a company, you can spend, you know, maybe $1,100 online and get that done, you know. And of course, the whole process of identifying of registering a company or incorporating a company or getting a TIN or whatever services that you're looking for. And I think we have over a dozen services already built out on our platform. We want to demystify that process. Opening a company or incorporating a company should not be a mystery, should not be something that is only known by a few attorneys in Guyana or a few accountants in Guyana. It should be known by everyone, you know, like kind of democratize the process of doing business in Guyana. And it goes without saying, the reason why GuyanaLegal is created is because the entire world is already doing this. The entire world is already going online and getting business done. And I'll tell you my personal story. About 3 years ago, when I was about to start one of my projects, I had to open a company in Guyana. And the first thing I did is like, how do I get this done? I went online. I went to some of the government agencies, and there was nothing there. There was some information, but nothing for me to do. I contacted a friend who's a lawyer, an attorney in Guyana, and he sent me a whole lot of documents. And you know, I wasn't too sure, you know, what to add here, what to put here, and those kind of things. You know, it took me a while, and I ended up actually going to Guyana and get this done because I had to go there and sign and everything else. So it cost me probably around $5,000, maybe $6,000 to do that, and more than, I would say, 4 months to open up to incorporate a company in Guyana. Now, when I went through that process, and as a technology and as a process driven and as a solutions kind of guy, I'm like, bro, I mean, like, everybody needs to get this. Everybody needs to have access to this kind of service so it can be done faster and cheaper and in an easier way. So that was my personal story that triggered me teaming up with persons in Guyana to deliver this product. And I'm quite sure that story that I've mentioned to you probably resonates with you. You know, whether it's opening a bank account in Guyana, whether it's accessing your TIN or paying making a payment in Guyana. These services, of course, require better technology to move things forward. This is a screenshot of our homepage, and these are some of the services we currently offer. We offer business registration, company incorporation, external company registration, joint venture, consultation, power of attorney, tenancy agreement. So these are all different types of services. And these are not services where you have to call someone or you have to fill out a form and then blah, 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 blah. These are fully developed services that's on our platform that allows you to provide us the needed information and for us to process it for you in Guyana and get you your certificates and your other documents that you are requesting. So agreements, there's all types of agreements that we have on our platform. TIN, if you're looking for a TIN for your business or a TIN for your company, we have the entire form. I don't know if you guys know, but that form on GRA is about 8 pages long, and it needs all your information, a lot of information. So we were able to put all that information online so that you can access it. We did all the hard work for you. We offer nonprofit services, so you can incorporate a nonprofit, a charity in Guyana. We also provide TIN for those for that sector. A lot of personal services, and whether it's consultation, power of attorney, a tenancy agreement, So yes, it's if you're a company, you can use this. If you're an individual, you can use this. If you're a nonprofit, you can use this to get your service. And all of these services, they walk you through from what we need from you, all the way down to making your payment and getting a confirmation email or a confirmation document that says, we've received your document and we're working on it. I think the next screen might be talking a bit about that. So yes, how it works. So how it works, you're online, you go to GuyanaLegal.com, you select a business service that you're looking for. For example, a tenancy agreement. You fill out the form, who owns the property and who's the tenant and all that, all of that. You upload your ID or all the documents that are required, and you're prompted, of course, on these documents. When we get that information, it goes to our office in Guyana. We have an office, a registered company in Guyana called International Business Solutions, and that company has relationship with multiple attorneys who will be reviewing your documents to ensure it's in compliance, and that it was done in the way that the laws of Guyana requires it to be. So it's reviewed. If it's okay, of course, we send to the relevant agency. If it's not okay, of course, we reconnect with the applicant and request additional information. In most cases, it might be an ID that is required. It might be a clarification on address and those kind of things. And of course, when it goes to the agency in the government, maybe sometimes it's not even an agency in the government. If you're looking for example, a tenancy agreement, that goes to our attorney partners, and they take care of that and so on. But if it's like for example, incorporating a company, that will go to a government agency. Then of course you get a certificate. That certificate is mailed to you, the physical copy, or it stays at our office, and we keep it for you. Your certificate and all your documents, including your photo ID and your incorporation documents and everything else, your bylaws are all uploaded to your account. So you can see them at any time. You can download it at any time. You can use them as you see fit. So you get your certificate, and then of course you do your business. You bring your ideas to life, your interaction, your engagement, your joint venture, whatever you're looking to do. You're now set to do business in Guyana from a legal as well as from other perspectives, based on the forms you would have completed. So these are the major steps. Of course, our technology goes much deeper than just a form that spills out some data. At every stage of the process, you are kept in the conversation. So for example, when we receive your document, you get to know that we received it. When we file your document with a government agency, we let you know what's happening. If the government agency comes back with a request or a matter to be resolved, you get to know that immediately. So you're always, for those of you who have used Legal Monster or LegalZoom, you would know the level of integration that they've put into it. Our technology is very, very similar. So that's pretty, that's easy. That's how easy it is to kind of get started. And I know for persons in the diaspora who I work with on a daily basis, this is a tremendous step forward in them accessing Guyana and them getting services out of Guyana. Yeah, so just in terms of some benefits, and again, if you have any questions, I'll definitely take your questions after this presentation. It's hassle-free, and that was kind of our whole philosophy, our whole entire orientation as to what are we doing with, what are we trying to achieve with GuyanaLegal. And at the end of the day, it's just to deliver hassle-free service. Hassle-free service. We all know what hassle-free can mean in Guyana, especially when you're trying to do business, and at the rate that Guyana's economy is moving, you've got to move faster than the economy, or else you'll be left back, you know. So of course, the platform is easy and intuitive, meaning that there's nothing hidden or nothing unknown in the process of filing for our document or getting a service done. It's all there, and we've added, because this platform took us about a year to do, and we met hundreds of business people, a lot of legal minds, a lot of accountants, and we kind of figured out what are some of the areas that need extra attention. So as an example, you know, a lot of companies outside of Guyana may not have an address in Guyana. So we've put a system in place where you can have an address in Guyana, you know, and so those are little things that we have included that's intuitive to let you know that we understand where you're coming from, we know what you're looking for, and we've built the technology and the opportunity, the options for you to get it. It's fast and responsive service. Like I said, we have a partner in Guyana. They receive an order or a request for a service today. They work in it today. That's their dedicated role. That's their dedicated job on a everyday basis. You know, they wait on orders and they execute on these orders. It's safe and secure. Of course, our technology, it's on a secure server. We don't store payment or credit card information. Your account has a password that you only have, and only you can access your document, and no one else can, not even if you have an attorney. So all of this has been built in because we understand that security, safety, confidentiality is key in all of this. I don't know, many persons feel that sometimes when they apply for a business name or whatever, that, you know, and their business type and what they do and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes that information can be leaked. With GuyanaLegal, you know, it's not going to leak because it's all behind your username and your password. It's cost effective, like I mentioned. You don't have to spend $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 to go to Guyana and get this done. Even if you're living in Guyana, the service is very cost effective in the sense that it's on par with what you will pay in Guyana. It's non-disruptive. It does not ask you to leave your place, leave your residence and go somewhere and join the line. It doesn't ask you to spend a lot of money. It doesn't ask you to leave your job for a few days or for a week. You know, you don't have to take a vacation to get this done in Guyana. You know, so it's non-disruptive. Your life continues as we process and we work on getting your business services done. We are an expediter consolidator, meaning that companies, accountants and business people and attorneys who may be using our system, our platform for their clients, we can be their support staff. We can be the expediter for thousands of companies across Guyana who is involved in all kinds of business services. And it goes without saying that we are legal and we are compliant, meaning that that we follow the process that's already laid out by the laws of Guyana, and we comply with all the laws of Guyana on this. GuyanaLegal, of course, is not a we're not an attorney firm. We are a technology platform that allows anyone globally to access these services, which are then executed by our partners in Guyana, who are made up of accountants, business specialists, and legal specialists also. So those are some benefits, I think, that GuyanaLegal brings. And it's for everyone, like I mentioned. GuyanaLegal, the technology is not made for a singular transaction between us and a client. It's meant for us and our client, but also for everyone who's doing similar type of business to sort of use our platform to execute on their clients' requests. So any individual, so John Smith and Joe Prasad and Kellyanne from Trinidad, or anyone else, can just go online, as many Americans do. We go online and we just fill out a form, and we register a company, or we access financial information or services or IRS information. Any individuals, entrepreneurs in Guyana or globally, who's looking to open a company in Guyana, or who are looking to get set to do business in Guyana. We have those are the kind of people that will be using our service. It's fast, it's easy, and of course it's convenient. Existing companies. A lot of companies in Guyana are looking to joint ventures. They're looking for expansion, new lines of business, and so on. They can just jump on the platform and walk you through. Charities, nonprofits, like I mentioned before. Attorneys. I know a lot of attorneys do exactly what we're doing, probably more. In terms of some of the legal services, attorneys can use us for their clients. There are businesses out there that offer these services, whether you're an accountant or you're a financial planner or a financial analyst. You might be offering these to your client. You can now have access to all this tool that we've created to sort of help your clients. Accountants, like I mentioned. And that guy too, that guy that's on the right side of your screen, that arrow's pointing, he can also use this platform. He doesn't need an accountant. He doesn't need a financial analyst. He doesn't need an attorney. All he needs is a laptop or his mobile phone, and he can get started with accessing business services. And finally, I think we have spoken enough, but our platform, we've been building it for the last year. It's in a safe position where it can be the services can be accessed, and our team in Guyana is ready to fulfill your orders. And based on stats in Guyana, the number of companies that are being registered on a weekly basis is staggering. So I think that can cause backlog. With technology, we can speed this process up. So some of the things, while we're starting on a strong footing, we've got more tools that are coming. Things like interfaces with various agencies. There are agencies in Guyana that you and I require information, or we require data, or we require service, or we need to make a payment. We're looking to interface with these agencies. Of course, most of them are not online, so it becomes difficult. So as they embrace technology and they get online, we'll be able to access that information. Integration with other agencies. Again, one is, similar to what I've said, once you're online, we're online. Another area of agency interface is allowing professional services company, allowing attorneys, accountants, and others like that, their own white label sort of space on legal, on GuyanaLegal, meaning that they can sign up and they can see all their clients and they can manage their clients within GuyanaLegal. They're not going to see anything else except their clients. And they're able to benefit not only from the technology that we've built, but the service that we offer, the business services that we offer, as well as the communication tools that we've created. We're looking at maybe including banking services to this. I know this is a big issue with expats and even those in Guyana and in the diaspora. How do we access banking services? It's so difficult, and it's not online. I can't do an application. It requires so much. Of course, some laws needs to be adjusted, but as much as we can, where we can work around some of those laws with technology, I think it is, or how we can accommodate the current laws with technology. I think it's where the benefits will be. Local content application, a lot of companies are going to access local content certification. We'll be looking at working with agencies like the Local Content Secretariat to see how we can help them to bring as many Guyanese as possible into local content compliance. And of course, more services for the diaspora. The diaspora, I think, for the last 50 years have been calling for all kinds of services, being available to them, since they may not, readily want to go to Guyana, or they're busy with their work and their family. The Guyanese diaspora has a lot of connections in Guyana, and I think some of those connections can accrue services as well as payments for agencies in Guyana. So I think some of these areas our team is already at work on to bring them online. So this is where we are starting from. We are starting with about a dozen business services that you can access on our platform, but we're looking at moving forward. And I guess I'm done. So thank you for listening to this. I'm open to questions. I know there's some media persons here. There are probably some attorneys and accountants and quite a few persons from the diaspora here. So I'm gonna shut up for a bit and have you guys, discuss, share your thoughts, ask a question, and we can take it from there. Hello. If you wish to speak, you can raise your hand and I'll open your mic, or I think you can unmute yourself and speak. Or if you raise your hand, I can certainly. So I see a question here on the fees in US dollars. All of our fees are in US dollars on our platform, and you will see the fees towards the end of your form, because there are different fees based on the services that you're asking for. But it ranges from anywhere from $100 US, $150 US for a basic, maybe a tin application, all the way down to maybe $1,400 for a certificate of a company's incorporation. But there are other services that that's available based on your needs. So, for example, when you provide us a specification on your on what you'd like to be consulted on, or what specific service you're looking for, those are specialized pricing. But the fixed pricing on all of our forms ranges anywhere from $150 to, I think, about $1,300, and that includes all fees paid to GuyanaLegal, as well as agencies that we interface with. Those fees are also covered in there. There's someone. Okay, let me hit Tenny.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. My name is Tani Husti, and I am an attorney at law, and I wear various hats. And one of them that I wear is the vice president of the Bar Association and a past president of the Bar Association. And I know you mentioned consulting legal minds and so on. And one of the things that we monitor would be the advertisement of legal services and the exposure of counsel, whether knowingly or unknowingly, to the advertisement of legal services. It's contrary to our code of ethics to advertise legal services. So you've spoken to specific legal services, you've spoken to specific costs of legal services, and there's certain of those documents that require legal signatures. I was just wondering what are your thoughts on those particular observations?
Well, thanks, Tenny. Really appreciate the question, and of course, having you at this presentation. And I'm glad that you can take back the great news that technology in every sector in Guyana will be inevitable, and we'll have to embrace it. Specifically answering your question, I totally agree. I am aware that advertising or promoting your attorney's service is something that is not allowable in Guyana's law, and that is why we explicitly say that GuyanaLegal is not an attorney or an attorney firm. We're a technology company that work with our partners in Guyana, which is the International Business Service. International Business Services has alliances with attorneys who will be providing the signatories and other legal requirements based on the law of Guyana. So we do have that in place.
But you see, but then you've walked into the other element, which is touting, because you are sort of getting work for lawyers and giving them work. So while you disclaim yourself as a legal firm, you nevertheless state that these are legal services and you're generating work for lawyers. So my concern may not be you, but you're exposing our colleagues by doing business in this manner. We have the technology is part of the approach to business. We accept that, but to use it that way, you are likely to expose persons, and being the catalyst for that, you are sort of committing an offense. I know you have your legal advisors, and they would have told you that touting means to procure a person who procures business in consideration for any remuneration, moving from any legal practitioner or from any person on his behalf. So you
Yeah.
see, you spoke about your fees being inclusive of the legal fees and those types of things, and that's straight
Yeah. So
into, wait,
yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
being fair to you.
Absolutely,
I'm
absolutely.
telling you, you're walking straight into these concerns, and that's why I started by disclosing who I am and the one of the many hats that I wear.
Yeah. And that is why we build a platform knowing well that we're not attorneys, and we will need
But
the
you're missing my
services
point.
of
No, but you're
attorneys
channeling work to lawyers.
to all lawyers in Guyana.
No. You
Yeah.
said to specific, no. You did not say to all lawyers.
No. As
The
what I'm
greatest
saying,
respect, you said specific ones.
at the moment, we have built a system for the global eyeballs who are looking at Guyana to access business services.
Correct. Got that.
Some may have legal implications
Correct.
to them. Not all of them
Yes.
will require an attorney. In fact, just a small percentage require an attorney. And like I mentioned towards the end of my presentation, this platform is open to all attorneys to manage their clients.
No.
Sorry, it's just like
No.
Zoom. It's just
Wait,
like Zoom that we're using right here. Attorneys use Zoom. Attorneys use
Sir.
Zoom to talk to clients and to
Sir,
interact and so on.
What you said, I'm
We're
trying to
building a
get,
technology so that attorneys
please
can
just,
also.
okay. I'm just trying to be fair. So if I have to
Absolutely.
withdraw what I said, I will. Let me just clarify. You said that persons can come to you, and there are specific lawyers who you've already identified that will sign off on the documents, and your legal partners, to use your words, right? And I know at International Business Solutions and their lawyers there, and yes, you said business and legal partners, so you've already identified persons who are providing these services to you and your clients directly. So the opportunity for all the members of the profession to participate in this type of business is not open. Depending on the type of service, so incorporation and other things, correct? And that is the concern that I'm seeking to express. That's all.
Yeah, and that's an excellent observation. And like I mentioned in my presentation, we have agency interface where attorney can open an account and manage their clients using our tools. At the end of the day, we are not attorneys. I'm not an attorney. I'm a technology guy, a marketing guy. I see an opportunity, and I see there's a lot of benefits for the legal fraternity in Guyana to gain access, to get better tools, to get a better widget from what they're using right now. So what we're doing is no different from what attorneys are already doing. In fact,
Where though? My concern is this: where those attorneys are doing what they're doing and what we have to do in Guyana is slightly different. And my observation at this point is that the manner in which the communication is happening needs to be compliant with the provisions of the Legal Practitioners Act.
And then
on the face of it, Code 6.1, Article 6.1, all of Article 13 of the codes are already flying straight.
Yeah.
We're flying straight in the face of that.
And here's my challenge to the Bar Association. Help us get there. Help us to be compliant. Help us because we are bringing something to Guyana that Guyana does not have. So
we must help you to be compliant with the law.
So you are the Bar Association. You just said that you are the so I'm just saying, are you willing
you
to
didn't come to us first, so you just launch a GuyanaLegal, and we must help you to be compliant.
No, if you see a benefit in a service like GuyanaLegal, of course,
it might have had a different reaction. Yeah. Just an observation, sir. I can't see something like this as a representative of the Bar Association and be silent.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with you. I mean, that's your duty, that's your responsibility. And as a friend and as a fellow Guyanese, if there's ways in which you can show us where we need to get in compliance, we certainly can. All right. Is there any other questions, comments, suggestions? I'm trying to read some comments here.
No, no, thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Tenny. Really appreciate it. This is Muhammad Ali. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and speak, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I've done that.
Oh,
My question is there a system to, how do you accredit these people who are going to offer their services on your site? Because one of the problems we have is actually getting, in my experience and my friends' experience and other people's experience, are professionals who behave like professionals. And there are cases where professionals have actually done illegal things, even though the law says something else. For example, like preparing an affidavit in the absence of somebody who's been in the UK, and his passport can verify he was in the UK, but yet he signed this affidavit in Guyana. So what we're looking for is to actually engage people who are honest and professional and do the job they're supposed to be doing. And the next thing is, you mentioned about cost effectiveness. One of my latest experiences, I asked for a quote to build a small shed in iFlood. The quote came back as 7,000 US. And I think I can personally do it for like £1,000 or 1,000 US. So I mean, we're looking for these kind of sincere people to deal with.
okay.
If they come on your site, sorry, how do you accredit them? And then is there a follow-up that people can complain or praise them and so on?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Those are some of the technology tools that we'll be adding to the system. Now, in terms of how professional they are, that is something that we will be vetting. Not every person that claims to be a professional is truly professional, right? We've got to vet them. We've got to ensure that they comply with our system, as well as with the system that's laid out in Guyana, the process that is the legal and agency requirements and so on. So yes, I mean, we are going to be ensuring that our current team right now, International Business Service, they're quite capable. We've trained them over the past year. They understand our system. They understand the system that is required on the ground in Guyana. And we've done quite a lot of testing, and that works well. In terms of fees, our fees are very, very standard. And it covers all costs. So you make one payment and it covers everything. So your payment is known. It's not like you will send us your information and we will send you a quote. The payment is known for a service that you have selected on our platform. And again, much of what we've created and developed is in sync with what is ordinarily accepted in other countries. You don't go to a website and buy something and you don't know what the price is, right? The price must be known. So we have automated and provide the kind of framework that I believe the diaspora and expats and professionals who are looking and investors who are looking into Guyana, they've been asking and they've been talking about. I've been on many diaspora programs, many investment programs, and these are the simple, basic questions that they've been asking that we have integrated in the system that we have built.
Now, you asked me to speak about compliance. No attorney at law in Guyana advertises fees for legal services. You're telling people,
and we're not an attorney.
But you're advertising for legal services. That's the point. You're trying to separate yourself, but you're advertising fees for a legal, sir, with the greatest respect. An incorporation of a company, right? At the end of the day, has to have a compliance certificate signed by an attorney at law.
Yeah.
Exactly. Therefore, it's a document that has to be prepared as part of a service which is given to an attorney at law. If you advertise, so therefore incorporated in that, unless, even if the fee is pro bono, it is a legal document that is being prepared and you're advertising a fee which is related to that. And that is where I'm trying to guide you. So once you start to, you know what is the cost of incorporation? The only cost that is incorporation that is publicized is the cost for the registry. So
Yeah.
whatever fee, so let me, so whatever.
So we have decided on that fee. Yeah.
You decided on a fee. So what we do is minus $63,350 from your fee, and that is what we know as the legal fees for incorporation. I'm suggesting to you that by putting the fees, you are walking into certain compliance issues. No attorney at law in Guyana and no legal provider of services is permitted to advertise the fees where the legal services or for the preparation of legal documents are concerned. And that is what I'm suggesting you separate.
And I think
the business. Okay.
And I think you're missing it, that there's no way on our website that has an attorney fee.
But the fee is included. You're missing my point.
But there's no attorney fee.
Services. Okay, if you want to split
There's
that
a
line,
fee.
go ahead.
There's a fee for processing your document and your application. There's no attorney on our site that is
but you're missing
advertising.
I have been very specific. There's certain documents, and that's why I've identified certain specific documents. And that's why I'm speaking about incorporation in particular, because anybody could prepare an agreement for anything. But I'm speaking about incorporation because there's a compliance affidavit that must be sworn to by counsel, by an attorney at law, saying that all of the particulars and everything, those things are correct.
Absolutely.
Even if that lawyer is offering that service pro bono, by advertising a fee, a bundled fee, as you want to call it, for legal, that thing that requires a legal service, that is where the concern lies, sir. And if you want to fight it, go ahead. And you ask about guidance. And I've spoken to the specific things that require a legal involvement. And those things cannot be circumvented. I'm just,
and we're listening. Some of our team members are on this call. Of course, we'll look that into consideration. And we appreciate the feedback. And I think with a nascent project like this, it's going to have its glitches. And because I deal with technology for the last 20 years, and there has never been a project without a glitch. You know, if there's one, it was created by God. You know. But yes, we are listening to you. Our team is also listening, and as we continue to roll out our service to the investment and the business community in and outside of Guyana, we will certainly be on the lookout to ensure that whether by omission or commission, we are not out of compliance. So, any other questions?
So out of fairness and full and frank disclosure, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to read something that is taken from Article 13.4 of the Rules of the Code of Conduct. And remember, I'm speaking here from the bar perspective.
Absolutely.
This is what you're exposing attorneys at law to. An attorney at law who becomes aware or reasonably suspects that a person who, not being entitled to practice as an attorney at law, or not being a public officer acting in execution of his duty for or in expectation of a fee, gain or reward, draws or prepares or offers to draw or prepare any legal document other than a will, shall be obliged to report the same promptly to the Bar Association.
Yeah.
So when you get into that, all of those things, it still comes down, and that's why I picked those two specific things,
Yeah.
because it's
I mean,
drawing documents linked to a lawyer.
Here, and we're not the only site available in Guyana that promotes these kind of services. You know, there are
So, okay, because one do it.
no,
because
I'm not. I think what we have done,
that's an answer.
what we have done. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that what we have done is to move the bar a bit further in terms of integrating a more efficient service based on the needs of the diaspora and so on.
I have not commented on anything about the type of service that you're offering. You're quite correct in the sense that automation and innovation of service
Absolutely.
is a direction for the future.
Mhm.
My concern with the hat that I'm wearing is that you do it in a way that does not only offend you, not you, but expose others. And as I say, it says it has to be reported to the bar.
Yeah.
That's what the rule says. I didn't make it up.
Yeah.
The rule says that.
Absolutely.
So it's the exposure of my colleagues, and particularly younger colleagues, that one has to be very careful of.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm in the Bar Association, so
I see.
I'm highlighting that. I don't mean to hijack your thing, your
That's okay.
your presentation.
This is good for all of us. In fact, Ryan Bagwundin did mention that Tenny raised some excellent points. You have to be present in Guyana to achieve a lot of the services mentioned. Yes, and part of the process does include that. I know wet signatures are required in Guyana. You know, colored copies of documents and those kind of things. So we've built into the system much of that. Thanks, Ryan, for that comment. Well, again, I see no other question. I guess I kind of answered all during my presentation. And of course, I want to thank Tenny for bringing to our attention, you know, some of the areas.
I have a question.
Yes.
Hello.
Good morning. I have a question.
Go right ahead. Who am I speaking with? Who's on?
Tony from Iconi.
Tony from Iconi. Okay.
Yes, sir. I've had 2 bank accounts in Guyana, and I've closed both of them for 2 reasons. One, every time you go to the bank, they have you fill out this anti-money laundering form every single time. If you go 10 times, you fill it out 10 times. So that's one reason I closed it. The second reason is my father-in-law died and left a bunch of money in the bank, and we're not able to take it out, even though we got an attorney and all of that stuff. The bank continued to, you know, ask for more and more paperwork. So my recommendation is, if you live overseas, keep your account overseas. You don't really need a bank account in Guyana. Because so far, I've been functioning for the last 4 years without a bank account in Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
And not to also mention that, you know, you go to the bank, hours and hours of waiting and all that stuff. So that's just my opinion, my recommendation for people who, you know, I do very well without a bank account in Guyana.
Good. All right. Well, I mean, Tony, we appreciate your comments and your suggestions, and we, of course, not happy that the best of service was not given to you. But I think, like everything else, you know, Guyana is slowly evolving some of these systems. And I've heard your comments about the banks more often than I want to hear, but it is something for the bankers in Guyana to look at and to see where there's opportunities to make it easier, more accessible. Of course, a big issue in Guyana also is the digital framework for banking just does not exist. So even though you have a US account, which is good, You know, if Guyana was integrated from a fintech perspective, then you could have done transactions and so on through your own bank and so on. But I guess it's a process. It's an evolution, and it will continue to get better. GuyanaLegal is one such intervention in Guyana's landscape to add a little more easier way for guys like yourself who are in Canada and the US and everywhere else to access services. We may not be able to offer all that's available, but if we can offer some, I think it's a great beginning, and so on. I think Muhammad Ali, your hands are still up. I don't know if you wanted to say something or.
Just for clarity, you have various fees on your site, but I want to stick to company cooperation. Is the fixed fee on your site covers everything to actually receiving the certificate of cooperation?
Yes, it
And
does.
added to that,
It
and
includes
added to
that.
that, added to
The
that,
only, yeah,
added to
there's
that. I
no
mean,
only.
I had an example where I was asked for like 800 US to incorporate a non-for-profit company. I mean, in the UK, I can do that for 12 pounds over 48 hours without any lawyers. But the question now about the lawyers, are the lawyers able to negotiate a reduced fee or no fee with yourselves to make sure they work within that fee that you publish on the website, but they do all the legal work to avoid the issue that Tenny raised?
The fees that's on, just to be clear, the fees that are listed on GuyanaLegal are final and complete fees. The only, and covers all grounds, includes our fees, includes third-party fees that will be contracted. The only fee that is not included there, it's not really a fee, it's more of a cost to the client, would be in cases where we require signatures and the documents would have to be shipped. I think you said you're in the UK?
Yes, I am, yes.
Yeah, so for example, you want to do an incorporation of a company, you will send us all your information, we prepare the documents, we get it ready for you, we need your signatures and so on. We will send that document to you. You will now ship that document back to us with your signatures. That cost of shipping it back to Guyana, which is on average is about $150, is not included. So, and we usually, and I think we're doing it through FedEx. So we get you the document, you have it signed, and then you package it and you send it to FedEx to us.
Yeah, that's understandable. But
That's
I
the only fee you'll be paying for out of your pocket, apart from the online fees as you have identified.
Right. Now, is there a case that, what should I say, lawyers working for, was it something legal, online legal, GuyanaLegal, are they able to negotiate their own fees with yourselves to ensure that they get the job done? Rather than, is there a fixed fee the lawyers have to charge? Their own fee, not your
are
fees.
already, wherever there's an attorney fee on our documents, it's already negotiated. That price is in there.
And there is the problem. Thank you for confirming it in the same way. You already negotiate the price with the lawyer, you advertise it, so the lawyer's fee is involved. That is the problem. But I don't know.
But Tenny, can I ask this question?
Problem of
No, go ahead. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Yes.
Yeah, Tenny,
yeah, sorry.
can I ask the question of Tenny?
Go right ahead. It's a discussion.
Why aren't lawyers allowed to actually charge fees that they feel comfortable with?
Actually, lawyers can.
Mm-hmm.
Lawyers can, but what we cannot do is advertise you see, Guyana's legal profession is based on a common law tradition from the United Kingdom. And it might be old-fashioned and so on, but we cannot advertise our fees.
Right.
So some people may say it's part of lawyers creating a cabal or whatever, but our profession is based on ability and your ability to command a fee. So people can charge anything, and that's why I said, even for free, being for free is not a problem. But to build in and advertise a fee that incorporates the legal cost is the problem. Because from that, anybody could reverse count back and say, okay, minus 663, and then you have the difference. And somewhere in that is the legal fee. They may be take off 10% or whatever for GuyanaLegal, and then you boil it down if you want to get to that level. But it is not how we do business as lawyers within the profession. And that is and that's why I'm separating and carving out that little nuance, not the big thing. Just
But you
that.
see, I'm asking the question because I'm a user of the services in Guyana, the legal profession, and
you would get bills high, low. Sorry, go ahead.
no, and because the thing is like every lawyer, they don't tell you what the fees are. You don't know what the fees are, and you end up paying maybe 10 times as much as you should start it off to pay. You mentioned high quality service, but how do we, what should I say, ensure that we can get quality service? In UK, for example, if a lawyer is really good, you know how much he's charging you, but he commands good fees because you know he's good enough. In Guyana, because we don't see any fees and so being advertised. But if you have a fixed fee to say, I'm going to charge you so much to do your conveyancing of your house, I'm happy with that. But now subsequently, I have another 10 million to pay. So this is something that actually bothers us a lot.
Well, in the old
We're not hearing.
in 1986,
yeah.
there would have been some fees set out for certain transactions. But we as a profession, and I think from the bar, we acknowledge that that is just out of date. And also because they're based on certain transactional percentages. So for example, for conveyancing, the statutory prescription is 0.8%, but not very many people adhere to that. So we recognize that there's a disconnect. In other countries, there are objective ways. So for example, depending on the years of practice, there are certain fee bands that you could look at. So it's something that we're actively looking at as an association. But recognizing that there needs to be an expectation on the part of the public when they engage the profession as to what someone is worth. So because of my years of practice, people may suggest I could ask for something, but somebody who is far my junior they will, but the public should have an expectation.
Okay.
And we acknowledge that that's a limitation in the current structure in Guyana. And it's something that we're actively looking at.
Okay, but sorry, just quickly, but this site is actually offering something that guarantees us a kind of a value for money.
If one could, that's a matter of perception, but you see, it's just how. But what we would have the problem with is the manner in which this is done. So I don't want to tell them how to do their business, but the way clients do, so as a firm, so what clients do, the legal services now in Guyana is a buyer's market. So persons shop around.
And that's okay, that's fine. Yeah.
We can't compete with that.
We have David who has his hands up. If you don't mind, I would like to have him say something. David Dari.
Hi. This is a clarification question on what Tini had read out just now. Is it that it's illegal to advertise fees, but it's okay to advertise services?
No, you can't advertise at all. You're not there's a specific provision in relation to advertising of services. And I can read it for everyone's benefit. It says, go ahead, David.
Let me finish. But I know several law firms. I think even the AG has a website up with listed services, and their registered Guyana office is listed on those websites. So I mean, it's not advertising. I just wanted that clarification because I thought it was not allowed for them to advertise the fees, but you can actually advertise your services offered.
It's the manner in which it's done.
Okay,
So
think
you
we
can
should-
list, it's a listing, but the fee, adding the fees is carrying it to another dimension. But sorry.
Yeah. All right, so is
That's
that
a,
all, David?
that's a gray area too. Sorry.
Yeah. So let's hear from Nirmala Caraballo. Nirmala, if you can unmute and ask your
I
question and make a statement.
just wanted to make a statement. I've lived in the US for a long time, but I have some business that I handle in Guyana.
Excellent.
I just wanted to thank you. I don't need your services right now, but just what you're trying to accomplish with transparency, because I think that's a level of frustration that a lot of us feel when we're traveling back and forth and trying to accomplish something, and the lack of transparency we get from the legal field with trying to figure out what things cost. But I wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you, Nirmala. I really appreciate that. And I guess at the end of the day, Nirmala probably represents 99% of our client base, those living in the United States and Canada and Europe, even the Caribbean, and expats also who are looking to access service in Guyana. But the difficulty is there's so much unknown. The process is unknown, the pricing is unknown, the deliverability is unknown. So with the technology, it gives you all predictability to ensure you you get a specific service for a specific cost at a specific time. Thanks again for that kind confirmation. Is there any other questions? We still have some. David, is your hand still up? Oh, so he's up.
sorry.
All right. With that, I just wanted to say thank you very much. Like I said, the platform is live, and we've done our testing, and it's in a good position to start taking orders. And we really appreciate you being here, and we look forward to making this platform as compliant as possible and as beneficial as possible, because Guyana can't wait. Guyana can't wait. You know, Guyana needs to be, you know, needs to be where it ought to be, which is where the rest of the world is. You know, and I think initiatives like this and others that I've seen will help us to maneuver to a better place where service and service guarantees can be known. With that, again, I want to say thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Tenny, for your guidance. Thank you, Mohammed, and other speakers. And thank you to my team who spent the last year building this and interacting with business people and attorneys and accountants and financial professionals in Guyana. I want to thank them very much for bringing us at this stage. And I want to thank the many agencies in Guyana that we've spoken to that has given us, you know, a deep insight into what we were trying to do. Again, thank you, and we look forward to engaging with you. Feel free to call us. Our numbers and our emails are listed on our website. If you have any questions, any suggestions, any thoughts, and we will certainly love to hear from you. Thank you again, and have a great day and a great rest of your week.